the name.
Class is in session, and your two favorite teachers are back here for Cinefellas. Hi, I'm Mr. Logan Myers. That's my good mate over there.
I'm Mr. Henry Hill, and welcome to class. Class is in session. Welcome to History 101.
Class is dismissed. So tonight, we want to say a quick shout out to our good mates over at A24 and Apple TV Plus for hooking us up with a press screener for the brand new show, written, directed, produced, and starring our good mate, one of my favorite actors, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And of course, we're talking about the brand new series debuting on Apple TV Plus. We're going to talk about the first two episodes premiering tomorrow. And let's talk about it, shall we?
Yeah, let's dive into things here. We're following Joseph Gordon-Levitt here. He's playing Josh Corman, a 30-some-year-old history teacher in the San Fernando Valley. He's a public school teacher. He teaches history to fifth graders. Mm-hmm. And it shows him, in the opening scene, teaching the kids and asking questions. And, some of the questions he's asking are going over the kids' heads. They're not really paying attention. Things are getting kind of boring. So it's just like a day in the life of his life being a school teacher, and it follows him from the classroom into his home life, where he lives in an apartment, which he shares with his roommate, Victor, played by Arturo Castro, who we've seen in some other films and shows. He has a very familiar face, and he plays his roommate, Victor. So we get a sense of Josh's home life. And we also learned that he had a girlfriend for a long time, and they had broken up. It's been relatively soon. I can't remember how long it's been since they've broken up, but it's been a little while here. So Josh is pretty lonely right now, and he's dealing with a lot of things in his personal life, feeling lonely, and wanting to get out in the world, but also feeling very awkward and feeling anxiety, and just his overall feeling of the world right now for him. He used to be a musician, and he hasn't had the spark to play in a long time. He's kind of lost the lust for life, and he wants to kind of reclaim that. So in this first episode, we see him trying to get Victor to go out with them. And, he's like, what should we do tonight? It's Friday night. Let's go out. And Victor's like, let's go pick up some girls at some bars. So they plan on going to the bar, but Victor ends up staying home playing video games with the rest of his hoodlum friends, smoking bong at home. But Josh actually does end up going out by himself. He goes out and makes an attempt to mingle with some female friends. He goes and has a drink at the bar, and he runs into a girl that seems interested in him.
Yeah, she's from Massachusetts. They strike up a conversation, and you can tell that Josh's character, Mr. Corman, he's going through some stuff in life. He's, trying to figure out what he wants to do. He needs to change something in his life. He seems pretty miserable. He's, being a teacher, fifth grade teacher, former musician. I feel like I could relate with this character quite a bit, playing drums most of my life, and then just working, and you feel miserable sometimes, and you're trying to figure out, how to find your happiness. So he's trying to change things in his life. In the first episode, him going out to the bar, meeting that girl, and, things go down at the apartment, the girl's house, and you could tell he's dealing with some internal issues, maybe some health issues as well. So this is kind of a darker drama. I thought this was going to be more comedic in the first episode, more comedy to it. A few scenes were kind of funny, but overall it's more drama. And seeing Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, 30-something-year-old guy that's down on his luck, it feels like breaking up with a girlfriend, trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life, and really questioning what he wants to do next, and trying to find his true happiness once again. So there's a lot of messages here, a lot of things I could relate with, and had a good time with the pilot episode.
It's very relatable on all levels. We're both around the same age as Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and a lot of the same issues that he's dealing with. I think the both of us can relate with too, just being in the middle of our careers, we having families. It's kind of like you're juggling your time all the time between a career where you're working most days, and you on the weekends, you have a couple days with, to do things, but it's always a rush. It's hard to find time when you're in the middle of a career and you're a young person, and you're just kind of starting out. We got plenty of years left, but we also have to balance that with fun. Luckily for us, we have this great hobby where we get to watch movies and TV
Yeah.
and then talk with each other about it. So this is a nice outlet for us. I was listening to the Mark Maron podcast. Joseph Gordon-Levitt did his show, and he was interviewed and he was talking about this project. He said that this project was the most relatable to his real life. This is most like him. He said when he did his first project that he wrote and directed, which was Don John, a couple of years ago, he said that was kind of the exact opposite of him. But he says with Mr. Corman here, which he also wrote and directed, this is closer to who he actually is. So he deals with a lot of these same things that we do. He said that he recently had a child. He took a couple of years off of acting. We haven't seen him in too many things over the past couple of years. He's finally coming back. He's been back the past couple, but before that, he took a couple of year break, so we haven't seen him. So he, spent time with his family and created this project for Apple. It all came together with A24. And another interesting thing about the filming of Mr. Corman is there were 3 episodes in when the pandemic hit. So he said that they had to shift production and eventually went into New Zealand to film the last 7. Yeah. And he said he said to film the last 7, they went to New Zealand. And he said that, when he had written it, obviously COVID hadn't hit, but after the pandemic, he wrote in the pandemic. So we'll see them dealing with the pandemic, which should be interesting because like we mentioned in the first episode and also into the second episode, which is all about his anxiety and feeling anxious about everything. It'll be interesting to see how the pandemic comes into play with that.
Yeah,
because I think we're all feeling kind of anxious in these times. So pretty much everybody can relate to what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not an anxious person up until the past year. Then going out in public, you're not, not sure what's going to happen, or, you're just having all these anxious feelings and, feelings of anxiety that I come across going into like a store after not seeing people for a long time. And it was just really relatable and definitely much darker than I would have guessed this show. I didn't watch any trailers. I just wanted to go in fresh eyes. I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt, one of my favorite actors. It's great seeing him act again. He's been in so many great TV shows and movies over the years. He's got to be loaded. He's been acting for like 30 years since he was a kid. So it's really interesting seeing him as the showrunner, creator, producer, directing, and then also starring in it. This is his passion project, and going through the pandemic in everybody's life and trying to create a show at the same time, it's going to be pretty interesting and hit a little too close to home.
It's a pretty deep show. You're right. I was expecting more of a comedic tone, but starting out in these first 2 episodes, it's definitely more dramatic. And it really doesn't leave you with a great feeling after watching it. It's kind of like, wow, this is hitting kind of close to home and is kind of tough to watch. But I have a feeling that as it goes on, hopefully there'll be more hope involved. Mr. Corman will kind of shape things up as the series goes on, and there probably will be some more comedic elements. There's some other great actors and actresses in this. Deborah Winger plays his mother. That was good to see her again. I watched her when she played the mom on the ranch. She does a good job as his mom. So you kind of get, with their interactions, you kind of see how his growing up for him led to him being kind of an anxious person just with how his mom is. And we haven't seen the dad yet, but we'll kind of learn about how their relationship has formed him as well. Another great actress that we haven't seen in these first 2 episodes, but who will be playing the girlfriend that we heard about him having before, will be played by Juno Temple, who is right now, she's on Ted Lasso and is doing a really great job in her role on that show. So it'll be really interesting to get introduced to her character here and, see what their relationship was like and how it led, to him being at this point in his life where he's having all these feelings and things aren't going that well. So I had a pretty good time watching the show. It's really well filmed. This is very, you can tell that he took this project very seriously. This means something to him. It's filmed very well. He does a lot of handheld stuff. I noticed some scenes there. He also incorporates in some animation from time to time. There's the scene where he gets thrown out of a window and he's falling through the sky and it's animated in the background. There's also like an asteroid going through the sky in the beginning of the second episode. So a lot of cool visuals that he added there, and just the cinematography in and around where he's at by LA there in the San Fernando Valley. Everything looks very good. His relationship with his roommate, I'm looking forward to seeing that relationship play out. I think they both work really well together. And I think they can both help each other's characters out, kind of get out of their funk. And because right now they're just kind of living the college, like beginning college life, just hanging out, playing video games,
30s.
smoking bongs. But, time's moving on and time moves quickly, as both of us know. So at a certain point, you got to move on. And I hope to see Mr. Corman, Josh Corman's character on the show, get back into music. It seems like that's going to be one of the things that hopefully brings his character back and gets him out of his funk. So I had a good time watching this. It wasn't very uplifting in the first two, but very interesting nonetheless. I hope it gets a little more hopeful as it goes on. I am going to give Mr. Corman, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's project that he wrote and direct, the first 2 episodes, I will give a 3 out of 5 Joseph Gordon-Levitt hair pieces.
Beautiful hair, even at his age. Still got a great.
He does have great hair.
Yeah, what a dreamboat. Oh, so Mr. Corman, I had a great time in the first 2 episodes as well. Like you were saying, not very uplifting, but it was shot very well. Had a good music to it. Animation was cool. Sometimes it felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. The tone was all over the place a little bit. Minor complaint for me. I think everything else is pretty solid. More of a drama. If you guys are looking for something happy, the first 2 episodes definitely don't make you feel happy. Feel kind of down in the dumps, and you kind of put yourself in his shoes and what he's going through. Obviously some mental health issues with him, and anxiety and everything else going on in his life, and just trying to find something to change all that to make his life more happy. So I'm interested to see how this character will hopefully change throughout the course of the season, but we'll have to wait. So the first 2 episodes of Mr. Corman with my mate Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Mr. Joseph Gordon-Levitt hair pieces.
Another thing that I forgot to mention about episode 2, which is all about anxiety, is that the note that was playing in the background had me anxious. Like it had that bell in the background ringing all the time.
Yeah,
which is annoying. A really good trigger for anxiety. Just hearing that over and over, just that ominous bell tolling in the background, which he's hearing subconsciously as he's panicking, trying to reach a doctor on the phone. He can't find anybody to get in. He thinks he's having a heart attack. His heart's racing. And by the end of the episode, he goes into that breathing seminar. That cool. Bell's tolling the whole episode. Yeah, which is kind of cool how it ends at the breathing seminar, and he's able to breathe through it and help that other old lady out that's feeling very alone and anxious. So
all the people there are really all feeling the same way. Mm-hmm. And just all really relatable, especially with the pandemic. I think a lot of people are dealing with this. A lot of mental health issues probably going on. Yeah. So the show has a lot to say, and I'm interested how it all kind of irons out and what happens to this character, especially filming in New Zealand during the pandemic. See how the overall tone maybe changes.
I'm down. Yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of the series. I'm in just for Joseph Gordon-Levitt alone. Like we said, hopefully there's some more hope for this character. Hope it's not all down in the dumps. Hopefully he learns more about himself and is able to fix things. I'd like to see that more, just because, we'd love to see that character in a better place, because he's a 5th grade teacher. He's doing important work. You need when you're teaching kids like that, you need to be an uplifting kind of person. You got to inspire the next generation of people. You can't let the shit of the world weigh on you. You got to find ways to work out of it, which we all do. We all have periods of funk that we got to get out of. So hope to see that in the future episodes.
Me too. I felt like this character was like an older version of his character in 500 Days of Summer with Zooey Deschanel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of the stuff he was going through in that, with the girl and all the music and how it's depressing and kind of darker at times, reminded me of like an older version of that character, which I absolutely loved because I love that movie. But it had his touch on it. You can definitely tell this is a passion project for him, and he worked really hard on it. So I'm really excited to see the rest of the season. So that being said, we'll be back here probably in the next week or 2. We're going to be talking about more Mr. Corman that's on Apple TV Plus, and also back talking about more TV shows and movies. Lots of great stuff's coming out right now. We got Suicide Squad that just hit HBO Max, so we'll be talking about that this weekend, posting our review right here. We have a podcast coming up Sunday for the Cinefellas boys and other great interviews and reviews.
Can't wait. And we got What If, the Disney Plus Marvel show coming out next week, the animated show. So we'll also be covering that. And we'll have some more fellas giveaway very soon. We got some
Yes.
titles coming our way, so we'll be announcing those. So watch out for those on our YouTube channel. Please don't forget to click subscribe on our YouTube channel. We could use all the love that we can get. Thank you guys so much for watching our videos and responding. Give it a like, give it a dislike, leave a comment. Please, interaction is we want that, and we want more of you guys to let us know what you like and don't like. Let us know if you guys end up watching Mr. Corman and what you thought, if you agreed with us or thought differently. We always like to hear feedback from the fans. So until the next time, we will be back to review the rest of Mr. Corman, this beautiful Joseph Gordon-Levitt Passion Project series on Apple TV Plus. And we want to thank Apple TV Plus again for giving us the screeners for this
A24 as
show.
well.
A24 as well. We appreciate it. So until next time, Logan, it's been great seeing you and talking about Mr. Corman with you.
Yeah, Henry. It's been a great time with me and my twin over here, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And, the resemblance is uncanny.
You guys brothers for sure.
Twin brothers, right. But yeah, it's been great seeing you, mate, like always. I can't wait to come back here this weekend, talk more movies, Suicide Squad. And I had a great time talking about Mr. Corman. So as you say, until next time.
Cheers. Now get back to class, you wild rascals.